Today's word is stupendous.
You need some encouragement.
We really love listening to you guys.
You need some inspiration.
We just found your Stupendous Marriage podcast.
In this season, quickies can be your friend. Wham, bam, grand slam, back to real life.
Stupendous Marriage Encouragement.
You're listening to the Stupendous Marriage Show.
Hey there, welcome to the Stupendous Marriage Show. My name is Stu Gray.
Hey, I'm Lisa Gray.
We answer questions about marriage. On air at stupendousmarriage.com is our email. You can also text them our way, 1-615-592-1060. Our question today comes from a wife who feels super busy and super tired. And speaking of busy and tired, how are you feeling?
Busy and tired.
Yes. So the flu of 2019 hit our house, 10 days worth with our child, and you're now adding to that because you caught it also, and I'm very sorry.
Yeah. It's so funny. The whole time that he had it, the beginning when he first got it, I just didn't even think about, I washed my hands and stuff, but I don't know. I just felt very invincible. Like, I'm not going to get this. And most times I don't get his sicknesses. Mm-hmm. And so,
I usually do. I'm usually the one who gets it from him.
Yeah. And so I just really didn't expect it. And he was 5 days in. And all of a sudden I started getting sick. And it was like, oh my gosh. And now I am 8 days in, and you might hear me a little nasally. I just have so much snot in my head. I don't mean to be gross, but I'm just so over it. It's just hard work coughing. It makes me tired, and I'm busy with work, which is great. It's just the energy level to sustain that is very lacking.
Oh, I'm sorry you feel so poorly. I'm sorry you got it.
Yeah.
Not that I wanted it or anything like that, but I wish I could take it for you so you'd feel better.
I wish you could too, except that you really whine.
I whine much more than you do. You're just like pushing forward, keep at it, keep going. I would be whiny. I'm not a good sick person.
No, well, the one day that you woke up feeling bad, I thought, oh my gosh, because, our son still didn't feel great. I started not feeling good, and then all of a sudden one day you woke up not feeling good, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it through if I have to deal with him whining, and then our son still not feeling good and me not feeling good, and thankfully you turned around really fast and didn't even, 12 hours you felt better, so I was like, thank you, Jesus. I don't know if we would have made it, honey, honestly.
We got our email coming up. We're glad you're here. Here's our question for today. Hey, Lisa and Stu. Just recently found your podcast and love it. Thank you so much for encouraging other married couples, providing guidance in marriage. Here's my question. My husband and I have been married for almost 9 years. We have a 5-year-old and a 1-month-old baby. We both work full-time outside the home, but have long commutes, approximately 3 to 4 hours a day. Needless to say, we're definitely tired. We go through dry spells when it comes to intimacy, like we want to have sex for a couple of months, and hardly ever go out on date nights. We don't really have any family who can watch our kids, and we can't really afford to pay a babysitter. How can I let my husband know that intimacy is important in a marriage? Also, how can we make marriage a priority when we have so much going on that we barely have time for ourselves? Thank you.
Yeah, I thought I was busy 3 to 4 hours a day commuting. That is crazy. I cannot imagine being in the car for that long each day. That is a really hard situation with having little kids. I think sometimes we have this expectation that intimacy and sex has to be so many times a week, a month, a year, whatever that looks like. And so first I would say maybe shift that perspective a little bit. Don't stress about the number of times you're intimate, but really just try to discern what you and your spouse need as far as intimacy. Because I know for you and I, when we go longer periods of time, it's not so much so that I go, oh my gosh, it's been X number of days, but I can feel the distance between us. I can feel the disconnection that happens from that. Instead of really focusing on the amount of time it may have been, thinking about how you can be intimate maybe in other ways for a season. Maybe you intentionally take out time together when the kids are in bed and just sit and talk. Intimacy doesn't always have to be physical. Obviously, the physical is great, but it doesn't always have to be what you have to focus on.
In this season, quickies can be your friend. wham, bam, grand slam, back to real life. It doesn't have to be all romancy and wonderful and fabulous. It can be quick and yay. Well, no, it just shows that physical intimacy is a priority to you and you're trying to make that connection too. If that's something that you're wanting to do, it doesn't always have to be candles and dinner and firelight and big production.
No, it doesn't. Those are things that are very nice, very awesome to have romantic times together and having times together that are not quick.
Sure, of course.
But at the same time, you got to do what you got to do.
Well, yeah, exactly. Come on. I thought reading this, you can't afford babysitters and you don't have family in the area. Do you have friends who are in the same season of life? There was a season for us where we had next door neighbors who had kids who were about the same age. And there were several times where we were able to watch their kids and they went out and they did the same for us. Can you do that? Do you have that resource available where you are in your area of friends whom you maybe work with that are in the same season of life? That may be an opportunity for you guys just to try to get some time as date night or something along those lines to reconnect. I think that might be a good option.
Yeah, I know that was really helpful for us when we did that when we were younger. I think if it's something that you really want to make a priority, you can. I just think that so many times we have a list of excuses. We have a list of we're working too much, we're whatever it is, right? Our dollars and cents aren't there, whatever it is. Get creative. Your date nights do not have to be at night. They can be during the day when your 5-year-old is at school, the 1-month-old is taking a nap. Is there an option to have a phone date where you guys just get on the phone and talk? What are your options? If you're at work...
Hey, what are you wearing?
That's not what I mean. But if you are both at work, if I'm assuming then the kiddos are in some type of daycare, right? So they are not around during the day. So is there an option for you guys to go grab lunch together for work? Like, what are the options that you might have? Are there people in your church who would be willing to babysit as a ministry? Sometimes I think it's just hard to ask for help.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We always assume that we're the only ones dealing with it and that nobody would want to help. But the fact is there might be a neighbor close by, like a grandma lady who, if you said, oh my gosh, is there any way that you could watch our kids for an hour? Like anything, you know, anything that you can do to help. I think a lot of times we just kind of push through and survive, and then we look up and months and years have gone by and we're not taking care of our marriage.
Well, that's why this email is great, because the first step is always acknowledging where you are. You're like putting your hand up, you go, okay, I'm overwhelmed, I'm feeling stressed here, and I need a brain outside of my brain to help me through this.
Right.
And so your acknowledgement of where you are is great. And then the next thing is, okay, you want to make it priority. We have creative brains, and God has given us the minds to think through things. So you sit with your spouse, you go, man, this is not where we want it to be. I'm sure you're feeling it. I know you're feeling it. And where do we want to go? And how do we solve these problems? And here are some ideas. And here are some things that I've found. And what do you want to do? You mentioned you wanted to make it a priority. I'm assuming that you have had these conversations with your husband and he feels the same kind of disconnect and away from you. So both of you working together to move towards intentionality is a good thing. And just to add to what you said before, texting, calling, leaving notes, that type of intentional communication. Hey, I'm missing you. Hey, I love you. Hey, how was your day? Just little check-ins keep you up to date with where you're feeling and where your spouse is feeling. And little check-ins keep you guys connected, knowing that you're in this together and you're going to get through this season. Your kids are going to grow up and it's not going to be as hectic and life is going to change and there is hope. It's just a season of kind of putting your arms together and going, hey, we're going to get through this, and how are we going to do it? And being creative as a couple to not really put your head down and just muscle through, because obviously your life is blessed. You've got 2 great kids, you've got jobs, you've got work, you've got things going on. Acknowledging the blessings in your life and going, you know, we still want to focus on our marriage and also help it thrive in this season of busyness.
Last thing I would probably say is there a way to change your lifestyle? I have clients right now that are moving from California, and the reason they're moving is because their lifestyle there is not allowing them to thrive. They're not able to make enough money to thrive. They're not able to make enough money to have time as a family. And so they are literally turning their life upside down and moving across the country to be able to change it up. And maybe that's something you guys should think about as husband and wife. What does your world really look like? Are you happy where you are, like physically where you are? If you're happy where you work, is there a way to get a job that's closer to home? If not, is there a way to relocate to an area to where your commute becomes 15 minutes instead of 3 to 4 hours a day? What needs to shift in maybe your finances to where you can afford a babysitter? There's got to be a way here that you guys can maybe make a change in your life to really shake up what's happening. Commuting for 3 or 4 hours a day is not healthy in any way. Not healthy for each of you individually, not healthy for your marriage, for your kids. Like, it's just not something that's sustainable. So maybe it's time to switch it up. Maybe move out of the city, maybe get jobs out of the city. Like, what do you do to change your lifestyle so that your quality of life changes?
And that's something you do together with your spouse. That's not something you start thinking and trying to work towards independently. You guys have to be on the same page. So that's a big conversation to have. And big chunks of your life, if you're going to do that, are going to change. So you really need to be intentional about that too and think through all of those moving pieces, I guess.
One of your questions was, how do you make your marriage a priority? It's not even just your marriage that you make a priority in that shift, whatever that shift may be. It may just be a job change. It may just be a location change with your job or with your home or whatever the case may be. But just shaking it up a little bit and going, hey, this is a bigger picture thing, not just about our marriage, about our family and our life and our quality time with our kids. And I know in real estate, I have a lot of clients who do that. They sacrifice, they go and they drive really far ways and time away from their family. And that's a decision they make for a season. And then sometimes they call me and say, hey, okay, this season is done. We need to have more time together. And so what do we change up? And so just thinking, praying about that, is there something that you guys can change in your life to be able to allow you to have more time together as a husband and wife and then as a family?
We appreciate your question, and we hope that, maybe our thoughts inspired something in you. And do let us know if anything changes or if we can help any further. You can send us your question, 1-615-592-1060. You can text us there or send us an email on air at stupendousmarriage.com. If you want more encouragement for your marriage, make sure you subscribe to the Stupendous Marriage Show wherever you listen to podcasts.
Talk to you next time.
See ya.
Yeah.
Like the show? Like the show.
Yeehaw.
Share the podcast. Tell another couple.
Hold on. Hold up.
That's what we do on the show. That was weird. Sorry.
I think if there's
big way to, and a big, all right, here's our message for today from our number. Here's our question for today from 615-592-1060.
Didn't make sense.
Here's our question for today.
Okay, let's start over. Yeah.
Like the show? Like the show. Share the podcast. Tell your married friends. Yeah.